For many Canadians, home ownership feels further out of reach than ever before. Rising prices, strict mortgage requirements, and unpredictable markets can make saving for a down payment feel like a bit of an uphill battle. But what if there was another way? Amy Ding, the CEO and founder of Requity Homes, saw this struggle and built a solution. Her company is helping renters become homeowners through a smart rent to own model designed to bridge that gap. In this chat, Amy breaks down how it all works, who it's helping, and what this could mean for the future of home ownership in Canada. Let's get into part one of this two-part series where I interview Amy. Awesome. So right now I'm here with Amy Ding, the founder and CEO of Requity Homes. Very excited to chat with you today, Amy, and see what you have to share. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Katie. It's my pleasure to be here and have this amazing conversation with you about Requity Homes and how we can potentially work together.
Awesome. So I've got a few questions, and I thought we could just kind of start with the basics. So what does Requity Homes do?
Yeah, Requity Homes offers a modern rent-own program for people who want to become homeowners, but for some reason they just don't qualify for a traditional mortgage, even though they're more than financially competent. Through our
Mm.
program, we will buy the home for clients upfront, so they can rent the home from us with the option to buy back later at a guaranteed price once they're mortgage ready.
Okay, that's amazing. As a realtor, that's a very exciting option. So maybe tell me, explain kind of what inspired the creation of Requity and why you saw a need for that alternative path to home ownership in Canada.
Yeah, it really comes from actually my own personal story. So I was born and raised in China. When I first moved to Canada, I had to move 7 times during my first 2 years in this country.
What?
Yeah, it's like insane. And to me, like owning a home means so much more than just having a roof over your head. It's like a sense of security, knowing that there is a place in this country for me. And also later on, after I graduated from school, I had a hard time qualifying for a mortgage. Had excellent job, no debt, 20% down. But the banks declined my mortgage application because I was on a work permit. And there was back in 2013, and they insisted me having a 35% down. It was
Oh,
very
that's
stressful
crazy.
periods. Yeah, and later on, I kind of, started my career in the accounting world, transitioned to finance, worked at RBC to help the bank build startups. And then one day I just like, you know what? I'm done with the corporate world. I want to do something on my own. And I really want to help more people who were like me 10, 15 years ago, struggling with a mortgage, even though I was totally financially competent. And that's when I decided to quit my corporate job and started Requity Homes.
Wow, that's super inspiring. Amazing. So it's definitely not your typical rent to own program. Maybe let's chat a little bit more about how it works.
Yeah, so very high level without getting to the nitty-gritty details, which I'm happy to do. Um, we will buy the home for our clients upfront, and the most important thing here is our clients get to choose which house they want us to buy. So that's one key differentiator from some of the, other rental programs out there where you're
Mhm.
like constrained to very few properties that may not be the best quality. And at Requity Homes, we have the funding secured. We made a public announcement. We secured about $26 million. So with this funding support, yes, it's
Awesome.
huge.
So
Yeah, and with
exciting.
that $26 million funding support from our strategic partners, we are able literally to buy any houses available for sale in the market that our clients choose, whichever house they want. Because at the end of the day, we know some families like this type of home. Some families may have different needs. We really want to give them the opportunity and the flexibility to pick the right home for them and their family. So I think that's kind of one key thing how we're doing it differently. And essentially,
Yes.
we let the clients choose the house. In terms of the rest of it, is just basically, we come in and we will be the one buying the house. We're going to be the only person on title owning the property and become the landlord. The clients were moving as a tenant. However, not like the typical tenants. They can have up
Hmm.
to 3 years, get ready for traditional mortgage. We give them credit coaching. We report your rent to credit bureau so that when they
That's
do qualify for a mortgage in the next 3 years, whenever, literally anytime within that 3 years, whenever they qualify for a mortgage, we just sell the same home back to them at a predetermined price that we agreed upon initially.
That's awesome. So what happens? This kind of leads into my next question. So what happens if they're ready to buy back their home before that 3-year mark? Are there any penalties for buying early?
No, there's no penalty at all.
That's
The beauty of the
amazing.
program is we know every client situation is different. We want to give them 100% flexibility so that they can buy the home at any time throughout the 3-year term. If there's no penalty fee, if anything, the sooner they buy back home, the cheaper the buyback price will be.
Oh,
Um,
really?
Yes, and so for
Okay.
context, we use a 5% annual price increase in
Hmm.
calculating the future buyback price. So I'll just use $400,000 home price range.
Sure.
It's probably more applicable in Edmonton. If we buy
Definitely.
a house for someone for $400,000 today, if they need a 1 year to qualify for a mortgage, we'll sell it to them at 420,000. So that's the 5% increase. If they need 2 years, it's just over 440. Likewise, if they need 3 years, it's going to go up by another 5%. And we all know the Edmonton housing market right now is going up 10 to 15%. So what that
Yes.
means to potential clients is that that same house might cost them a lot more down the line. However, we still had to sell it to them at the price we agreed upon initially.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. So then if we're getting a little bit more local, tell me why you chose to expand into the Greater Edmonton area and then even maybe some more specific opportunities that you see right here in Spruce Grove.
Yeah, I mean, we're very bullish about Edmonton. Just like all the other ones you have heard about people moving to Edmonton, we're like, okay,
Yeah.
if everyone's moving to Edmonton, like, you know what? There has to be something there, right? And then we did
Hmm.
our homework. Obviously, right now, the housing price has gone up, compared with 3, 4 years ago. However, it's still relatively affordable if you compare it to
100%.
Toronto, Vancouver, or even Calgary.
Yeah.
That being said, the average household income in Edmonton is like over 100K.
Yeah.
It's pretty high, and the average home price is just over 400K. So from the
Hmm.
affordability metric perspective, if you measure it as the household income as a percentage of the potential of the average home price in the city, I think it's like the most affordable cities in this country right now.
Yeah, one of them in terms of the
Absolutely.
larger cities and the amenities that we have. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
Spruce Grove is even more affordable.
Affordable than the city of Edmonton proper. Absolutely. So I think because of that, it attracts a lot of people, moving to the province. And when you relocate, there are different challenges. Again, mortgage, you can't unless you can work remotely, and that creates opportunity for a program like ours to exist. So that's kind of the part one. And the part two
Hmm.
is just the housing market is actually going up pretty high right now because everyone's moving there. And the
Hmm.
inventory is pretty tight, just like any other cities in Canada. We all face a supply constraint. And what
Yes.
that means that the home price keeps going up, like much, much faster than the historical average, right? I think right now it's about between 10 to 15%, generally speaking, year-over-year increase. So I think that also means opportunity for us in the sense that I can really help those families to lock in that future buyback price. So as they move into this country, to the city, as they relocate, settle down, they don't feel like they're missing out in that rising home market, so that there's still a opportunity for them to transition into the ownership so they can actually build a life in the city. So those are the two main reasons why we decided to expand our presence aggressively in Edmonton. And that's why we're very bullish. And hopefully we'll be able to help a lot more families this year in Edmonton. And a lot more potentially moving to Spruce Grove as well.
I think you
Yes.
will for sure.
We already have a few
So
clients in the area, in the neighborhood.
that's amazing. So with the current housing market challenges in Alberta specifically, how do you see Requity Homes helping local families achieve their homeownership dreams in the coming years?
Yeah, I think it's really about like expanding the financing options available, especially for first-time home buyers. I
Hmm.
think we have been living this world well. Traditionally, the only way for you to become a homeowner is you go to the bank, get a mortgage. Unless you win the lottery, which doesn't happen often, so
Right?
forget about that.
It would be
Um,
nice though.
yes, that would be nice because then not only you can buy a house, you can buy a lot more stuff. But
Exactly.
jokes aside, I like the home price has gone up so much over the last decades. Um, and getting a mortgage actually is harder and harder now, right? It's a lot
Right.
stricter compared with I mean, my parents wasn't born right here, but generally the parents there, if you're
Hmm.
hardworking and you work, a couple of years, you'll be able to save some money and you can buy a home. That's like a very common for people, in the 1990s or even 1980s. And that's not the case anymore, unfortunately. You can
Yeah.
work your ass off. You can even make six figures income per year, and you're still not able to get into the housing market just because the home price is going up much, much higher rates than
Yeah.
your salary increase, than your savings rates. So what we're looking to do here is really just give people expanded financing options. If the traditional way getting a mortgage is not working anymore, can we give the potential clients a different option so that they can still somehow, kind of get their foot in the housing market through a rental structure to lock in that future buyback price while working on whatever needs to be worked on so they can qualify for a mortgage. So that's kind of what we're looking to do here at Requity Homes. And it's not a product for everyone. I always tell people, it doesn't mean everyone should consider rental. But that being said, it can be a great product for some customers up there if they are financially capable and they just need that stepping stone to help them get there.
That's incredible. So, what are some of the biggest concerns or misconceptions that people have when they first hear about Requity, and how do you address those concerns?
Wow, there are definitely a lot of pushbacks from our clients in a sense. Okay, number one, does this ever work? Do you actually have clients buy back home? Because historically, right, how it was done, it wasn't done properly, and many clients actually ended up failing. When I say
Right.
clients, I'm talking about rent on renters and not
Yeah.
successfully buy back home. I think that's probably was the norm historically. And
Hmm.
we always say, hey, go to our website, requityhomes.com, check out the success story, just hear from our customers, or even Google Requity Homes. Just check out those reviews from our customers directly. Then you will get get appreciation how we're doing things differently. So I'm saying that's number
Hmm.
one where this is never working. The second thing, always people think, what, I'm gonna lose everything. This is never gonna work. If for any reason I'm late with my rent payment for a day or I didn't do anything, you're just gonna take all my money away. We're like, no, that's not how we do it. And we have a legal contract. It's stated there, obviously, if you're late, we'll work with you. And it happens. Sometimes clients reaching out to us say, hey, I'm only getting paid this. Something happened. Can I, pay you XYZ date? No problem. We welcome those open
Mm.
communication. Things happen, right? And then on top of that, we just always tell the clients in the contract, even on throughout our website, we clearly stated it. The absolutely worst case scenario, should your situation changes, you decided to walk away from the home, there is a penalty fee that is only 5% of original home price we pay for. If you
Hmm.
already saved more down payment through the rent home program, because you give us deposit, you give us cumulative savings every single month on the site. If that money is more, we always refund it back to you. So you're not
Mm.
losing everything. So I would
Right.
say those are probably the most two common myth about rental, why it's a bad thing, and we try our best to educate clients. Rental is a generic term. You really need to understand the specifics offered by each company and really understand the risks and the potential benefit as well.
That wraps up part one of my conversation with the amazing Amy Ding. We've taken a high level look at how Requity Homes is helping renters take their first steps towards home ownership, but there's still more to explore. In part two, we will dive deeper into who this model benefits the most and what it could mean for them as potential homeowners in the future. So stay tuned. And if you found this insightful, feel free to share it with someone who you think might benefit. If you're curious about whether this program could be a good fit for you, check out the link below to see if you can qualify. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to connect.